Ooh, let's go, Commanders fans. The Washington Commanders have waived second round defensive tackle Phidarian Mathis. So it's another Ron Rivera draft pick that they have gotten rid of this season. Who else? Emmanuel Forbes, Jahan Dotson. They traded before the season started. They released Emmanuel Forbes. They released Jamin Davis. So that's four guys that you can look at from Ron Rivera's drafts from the past, 2 or 3 years that they just released or traded. So at least Adam Peters got something for Jahan Dotson. He finessed the Eagles and got that third round pick. One of the third round picks, I know we flipped it for Marshawn Lattimore. I can't remember which one we flipped, whether it was the Eagles third round or the Dolphins third round pick that we or our own third round pick that we flipped for Marshawn Lattimore. But for Phidarian Mathis, yes, he was a disappointment. Has he been a bust? I mean, basically, yeah, you can call him a bust if you want to go there. A lot of injuries, man. I remember the first game of the season against the Jaguars. In his first game of his career, he was carted off the field, so he missed the whole 2022 season, played on one game. So that didn't help his case. Was he overdrafted? Basically, yes. He was projected to be a third round pick, which is not too much of an overdraft, but a lot of Ron Rivera's drafts, Jahan Dotson was projected to be kind of late first round, early second. So was he overdrafted? You can argue yes. I mean, you look at it now, yeah, he was. Ben St. Juste is still on the roster. He's fighting right now. He's hanging on to a thread because Marshawn Lattimore has been in and out of the lineup for the most part, or only played in 2 games. Sam Cosmi was a good pick. B-Rob was a good pick. So there's a couple of good. Quan Martin. There's a few. Even a blind squirrel can find a nut. As the saying is. Somebody. Lightning strikes twice or something, or whatever, or the clock strike. What is it, the clock? I'm so bad with sayings, but you guys get the point. At least some of the draft, he's going to hit at least on one out of every 10 draft pick. He'll hit on at least one and get somebody. So, but the good news is that Jonathan Allen is trending to be back, and that is the corresponding move. Now, Phidarian Mathis, I feel like they can get him back maybe on the practice squad. Now, another team may go ahead and get him because I know, it was either Ian Rappaport, I think he tweeted out that that Phidarian Mathis would be a good depth piece. He said, yeah, Commanders are waiving defensive lineman Phidarian Mathis, sources say. Putting the former second rounder on waivers, a potential ad for a playoff team looking for depth up front. Mathis could get claimed. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was claimed. I do think a team could use him on the practice squad or, off the bench. Same thing with Jamin Davis. Like a team, immediately, the Vikings picked up Jamin Davis. The Rams picked up Emmanuel Forbes. So teams are going to pick these guys up. Like somebody, I could see him clearing waivers and us bringing him back on the practice squad too. I could see both scenarios happening. I could see another team picking him up too. I really could. I could see the Eagles being trying to, because every time we cut somebody, like Marcus Rose, Jack Saint, Amani Rogers, there's a couple guys. Every time we release somebody, they try to get our guys. I can see the Eagles doing something like that because they like to play that mind game with us. I know they do. They do that on purpose. But I can see something like that. I can see the Eagles picking him up or something like that. Just something random. For sure. But if not, yeah, I mean, you can bring him back on the practice squad. The crazy thing is that when Joe Witt Jr. was doing the little thing like that after the game when we beat the Eagles, Phidarian Mathis was in the picture, having his arm over Joe Witt Jr.'s shoulder. And, Sheldon Day basically surpassed him on the depth chart. Is it Carlos Watkins? Is that his name? On the roster, it was Sheldon Day, and it was somebody else who was on the who was a defensive lineman that like surpassed him on the depth chart because he was a healthy scratch, even with Jonathan Allen not being there. It was who was it? Sheldon Day and Normal Pollard's on IR, but it was somebody else, man, for sure. That was there, that was playing like Carlos Day or something like that. Carlos Watkins, I forgot his name. I gotta look him up before I end this video because it's not that I can't remember the guy's name. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now. But I'm gonna look at the practice squad. But like I said, the main thing is that before 4 p.m. they have to activate Jonathan Allen off of injured reserve, so they have to make that move. And I think they're gonna make that move right before 4 p.m. for sure. So that really is that's the main thing about the move. But of course, you look at it as a disappointment from Jalen Holmes, defensive tackle. He was getting more playing time. Sheldon Day and Jalen Holmes. So I may be tripping about the Carlos Watkins guy, but I know we signed somebody named Carlos as a defensive tackle, like for sure, on the practice squad. I know for a fact we did it this year, but yeah, Jalen Holmes, he got in the mix. He got a sack. He's gotten like 2 sacks this year. So, but you look at Phidarian Mathis's numbers, and his stats are not going to show up on the stat sheet for the most part because he's more of a run stopper and a run stuffer. That's what he's really known for. Yeah, Jalen Holmes has 2 sacks on the season. But Phidarian Mathis, you look at his numbers, he had 10 games. He did not start 1 game as a Commander. 0 starts as a Commander. I know he was playing behind Deron Payne and John Allen. And a lot of people questioned it when the draft happened, too. Like him being behind, having John Allen, Deron Payne already was like, why would you draft Phidarian Mathis? Are you ready to replace John Allen? Is that the answer to doing that? And then they drafted Johnny Newton. And, now he's just the odd man out for sure. But he did have 2 tackles for loss this year. He did have some impactful plays. I remember it was between him and John Ridgeway, who was going to make the roster, and he beat out John Ridgeway in that last game against the Patriots. He did have a fumble recovery against the Eagles. But other than he had a quarterback hit in 2023 as well. Has 0 quarterback hits this year. But the knock on him was just get to the quarterback. Even though he had 8 sacks his last season, he was known as a team leader and a team captain. That was like one of his biggest attributes or one of his biggest talents. His RAS score vertical leap of 23.5 was poor. Explosion grade was poor for his RAS score. Just look at some of the shuttle cone drill was poor with 1.61 seconds. Or I'm sorry, 4.91 seconds. So that was poor. Coming out of college, his pass rush win rate on true pass sets of 8% his final 2 years at Bama was in the 15th percentile. So, drafting him in the second round it was very questionable. So, but yeah, looking at some of the draft picks from Byron, Sadiq Charles retired, Antonio Gandy Golden retired. I hate to go over this list, but this kind of is almost the nail in the coffin with the Ron picks. I think that's almost that's it almost. Sam Cosmi, B-Rob, of course, because they're good, and Quan Martin. But other than that, Derek Forrest, he's on a practice squad, or he's been a healthy scratch as well. And that's really it that I can really think of. Is Braden Daniels? He's not on the roster anymore. I know that for sure. KJ Henry gone. Chris Rodriguez is still on the team, so he's a good pick. He's been a good pick. He needs more opportunities. If B Rob, I love B Rob. He's a great player, but maybe Chris Rodriguez does need some more opportunities tomorrow night. Forbes gone. Quan Martin still here. Ricky Stromberg released. Braden Daniels released. KJ Henry released. Chris Rodriguez still on the roster. Andre Jones released, I believe. Jahan Dotson traded. Phidarian Mathis cut. B-Rob on the team. Percy Butler, special teams ace. Sam Howell traded. Cole Turner on the practice squad. Chris Paul, not sure. Christian Holmes gone, I'm pretty sure. Jamin Davis released. Sam Cosmi still here. Ben St. Juice hanging on by a thread. De'Ami Brown stepping up here and there. A little inconsistent, but stepping up. John Bates, that blocking tight end. Derek Forrest, healthy scratch. Cam Cheeseman, awful, gone. William Bradley King gone. Shaka Tony gone. Dax Milne gone. Chase Young gone. Antonio Gibson gone. Sadiq Charles retired. Antonio Gandy Golden retired. Keith Ishmael, I'm pretty sure, retired as well. Khalil Hudson gone. Cam Curl with the Rams. And then James Smith-Williams, not sure what's going on with him. So those are the Ron Rivera draft picks, guys. Those are the Ron Rivera draft picks. And I think after this year, we probably put the nail in the coffin for all the guys that were busts under Ron Rivera for sure. But like I said, on the bright side, Jonathan Allen will be active tomorrow night, and maybe Phidarian Mathis does come back. This is one thing that I found that Joey Jr. said on October 24th. He says Phil is playing some of his best ball as of late. It might not show up on the stat sheet, but he's a big man playing big. So he's made some plays. He's made some plays, just not up to a second round draft pick kind of guy though. And the second round pick curse is kind of going away. Sam Cosmi's breaking it. And Quan Martin's breaking it. Mikey Samerstill is breaking it. So we're starting to get out of the second round busts, disappointment picks like Ryan Anderson and Darius Geis, Sua Cravens, guys like that. Even all the way back to Malcolm Kelly and Davin Thomas was a second round pick, I believe. So, but all right, you guys. As always, you guys let me know what you guys think. Enjoy your Saturday, and let's get ready for tomorrow night. So those are the roster moves as of right now. They probably will release the news that Jonathan Allen is going to be active and coming back Sunday night against the Falcons. I probably won't be able to make a video because 4 o'clock I'll be out and about and doing things for sure. All right, guys. Hello, Commanders. Peace.